What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes, episode 63. Again, we are not we're doing something different. We're not naming players because the Patriots need to. Well, if they get to the playoffs, we'll name players. Exactly.
Oh,
but
you're missing out on someone very important.
all right, throw it
What
in.
episode number is this?
Joe
63.
Andruzzi.
All right.
Oh,
honorable
God, no.
honorable
Absolutely
mention.
not.
Joe Andruzzi. This is episode
Sucks.
63.
His
I'm Mike
son
Sullivan.
Sucks too. I hate that kid.
Big Al is here. Liam's here as well. Feels like the game was played years and years and years ago. And I will just get out in front of it. We're not going to harp on this for long whatsoever. But obviously thoughts with DeMar Hamlin. As of right now, everything is kind of trending positive with him. So hopefully it keeps going that way. The old cliche, some things are bigger than football. This obviously is. And again, thoughts, if you pray, send those out to him as well. But thoughts are with him and his family right now. That sucks. But
very scary, very, very scary. But hope he makes it out.
Very scary. But like I said, I guess the doctor's got like kind of good things going on there. So hopefully he'll be fine, or as fine as you can be after something like that. But we are here to talk about the Patriots Dolphins game, which I believe, Al, you didn't think they were going to win, and I don't remember. I think Liam did, but he didn't want to think it, if I remember correctly.
I was quite hesitant.
Yeah, he pulled the old. I think they're going to win, but deep down he's like, they ain't winning.
He did, and
I just couldn't help but think it was going to end ugly, so I didn't want to say anything.
And it did. It ended ugly for the Dolphins because the Patriots fucking won, ladies and gentlemen, and they hold their playoff destiny in their very underwhelming, underachieving hands. They are one win away, or loss with a bunch of other things happening, but one win away from making the playoffs. They took care of business 23-21 on New Year's Day. While everybody else was hungover, the Patriots were at work, and they did the damn thing. Where would you guys like to start with this? Because as I told Al before we got on here, I did not take any notes for this game. I was somehow hungover and drunk at the same time watching this game. But I do still remember it, obviously, because it's part of what we do here. Where do you guys want to start? Who do you guys want to start with? Liam, I see you have your finger up, sir. I will call on you.
I mean, there's really only one place to start, at least in my eyes, and it is our new Lord and Savior, our shepherd guiding us through the valley of darkness, Kyle Duggar, who also looks like he decapitated Teddy Bridgewater on the way to the end zone, knocked him out of the game.
Mike, add him to the list. Add him to the list. Add Kyle Duggar to the list.
But this one is completely justified. It's not like I love him for no reason, even though I love all the other guys for reasons as well. But truly, this guy is crushing it this season. He's missed a couple of games, but when he plays, defensive touchdowns and big hits, I'm eating it up.
Kyle Duggar is he has 3 defensive touchdowns this season. No other player has that. I think it was something where he's wildly underappreciated outside of New England.
No one gives a shit.
Nope, it's insane. But no, Kyle, I mean, you knew in that Raiders game when he picked off Carr, when he just jumped the screen route, where you always
that
see
happened
that play
so fast.
happen.
I missed it. I was like, whoa.
I looked down for a second. I was like, okay, I saw Carr stand up and kind of turn. I was like, okay, he's gonna throw a screen. Look down, all of a sudden he picked it off and ran. But no, Duggar is, I mean, it goes to show how important he really is. Not only just covering people, just he's getting better. He's one of the players you can see is getting better game in and game out, where he's starting to learn the offenses better. He's starting to cover a little bit better. He's always been pretty decent at covering. Well, he's always been in the league for nothing but
2 years.
But yeah, no, Kyle Duggar, I mean, he was the Marcus Jones of this game, where it was without him, I feel like we don't win.
Yeah, 100%. He's the difference maker. And, if I were to say he'd be like my game breaker, he was fantastic. I called him on the game breaker in the Raiders game, even though the whole thing sucked. I did predict him to do well. But I want to know, some after the fact thoughts, and I want you guys to be honest. Just quick synopsis. When we drafted Kyle Duggar out of Lenore Ryan, were you guys what the fuck is this? Or were you just it's Bill, he'll figure it out?
Literally, who the hell is this guy? like a Division II guy that, by the way, you traded back to get.
Yeah,
because you had a higher like you were in the last part of the first round, then you trade back early second round to get him because you knew he was going to be there. So what's the deal? But I mean, you know what? Credit to Duggar, honestly, because he's part of that defensive nucleus that's going to be there for years to come with guys like Duggar and Judon and Uche and
Barmore,
Jack Jones, Marcus
Every Jones.
Yeah,
there's all the
three of
Joneses
them
in the world. There's a foundation in place, and that's the beauty of it. You really don't need to make a lot of upgrades. I'd say defensively, maybe another defensive tackle or two, maybe
if that. I would look to another safety. If
I was going to say maybe a safety, but then again, you have Duggar that can play safety. You have Adrian Phillips that can play safety. So I mean, the safety position you could have covered. If you want to take another one, I wouldn't be against it either, Liam. But it's nice to see a piece like Kyle Duggar finally blossom into his own in his third year in the league and really take off. And it's going to be exciting to watch him the next however many years he's here.
Because he had some moments. I think last year he had a pick six, if I remember correctly, but it was only one. And that was the only real notable play I ever saw.
Yeah, you can see him start to blossom. I mean, Al, like you said, this team on every level in the defense, they have young stars. At the line, you got Christian Barmore, who since he came back, he has been a menace. If you watch the replays, getting double teamed or whatever. Then you have Jawan Bentley, captain of the team at linebacker. Obviously, you got Judon, everybody else.
I forgot about Bentley too.
Bentley had a great game last game.
Bentley has had a solid game every game this year. It's crazy. And then you also have obviously I'll bring him up, Ronnie Perkins. I mean, obviously everybody,
the real star of this defense.
That's like the running joke. And then in the for the DBs, you got Jack Jones, Marcus Jones, Kyle Duggar, Adrian Phillips is still there. So he's not the young guy, but he can be kind of the veteran that holds the team together. I mean, this defense is built for the next 4, 5, 6 years. I would say. So
that is an excellent point. Like the defense is pretty locked down, even with McCourty on his way out. Like he can be replaced and whatnot. Duggar's more of like a Troy Polamalu strong safety where he hovers in the linebacker range more than he is deep though. So I feel like we need somebody to cover the deep when McCourty leaves. Could be Phillips, but I don't exactly see that
draft
as the most
someone
natural
who knows.
Exactly. And this is all talk for the offseason, but just jumping off my screen, I saw Kyle Duggar all game, and then he had the big play. It's like, oh my god, like guy's big balling. You love to see it. Lenore Ryan, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I thought in kind of to answer your question, I thought that Duggar was going to go the route of like your what's his name? Ellis Hobbs, like guys like that who come in and it's like, they have like, it's like, ooh, like they flash a little bit and then they do Alfonso Denard or Dennard, where it's like,
I thought he was going to be so sick.
Yeah, everybody. But no, I had no idea. I mean, obviously, I think like the later round picks, like the later a pick is in the draft, the more confident I am in them. I think it's just because of my confidence in Belichick when he's drafting that late
development.
But to talk about another young defensive guy, one of the Joneses, Jonathan Jones, had a pick that was fucking beautiful. It bounced off Tyreek Hill. He got it. I was like, there's no way he stayed in bounds. He did stay in bounds. That was just chef's kiss. Beautiful. The defense stepped up. I mean, Jonathan Jones has been playing really, really well.
It's the same old story though. Literally every game, it's like, well, the defense stepped up. The defense was great. Like besides the Bills game, the defense has always been fantastic.
Yeah. No defense. The defense has been, tremendous. But let me see here.
I did want to mention Jabril Peppers too. Low key good game. Like every time when I get on this show and look at the box score, he doesn't jump out while I'm watching. Like I'm not like, oh my god, he's making all these tackles. But I always look at the box score and he's in like the top 3 of tackles each week. I'm like, all right.
He's a guy that I would love. He's a guy I'd love to see the Patriots re-sign like for another year next year.
Just to see like if he can actually maybe take McCourty's spot or do something because I love college.
That was another thing I was going to say. Maybe he could be your replacement for McCourty, or if you want to go Phillips a little more as a deep safety, you can have Duggar and Peppers as kind of like your, like you said, Liam, like your linebacking kind of hovering around guys. I mean, there were guys that can hit hard too. I mean, you see that. That's good.
Hit so hard. I think it was this game. I don't even remember when or where it was. I think it was like a third down or like a fourth or something. And he just like came from the side and just hit. I don't even remember the Dolphins guy who had the ball, but he hit him and just stopped him in his tracks. It's like there are some hard hitters on this team. And
that's what you need. You need to stop the Bills'
yep.
crossing routes, which was a huge problem for us last year. That drove me crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, and I think a big part of that too was, Jonathan Jones wasn't there, but I mean, again, he didn't play, tremendously the first game of the year that they played the Bills, but
that was pretty tough.
I mean, I don't know. You got to, and we'll talk about the Bills game a little later, but I mean, you just got to hope that people are healthy. You got to hope that at least 2 of the 3 Joneses are healthy and ready to go. But yeah, no, this defense, I'm looking right now. Carl Davis, Barmore had a sack. I mean, it's just the defense. I know they got a lot of shit for only playing well against, or like only winning against, backup quarterbacks or non-starters and stuff. But let's not people forget how good they played against Aaron Rodgers for basically 2.5 quarters. How good they played against Lamar Jackson before he, did his thing. I mean, they played great against Derek Carr too. But it's just, that's why I see people tweeting and stuff. I can't believe Derek Carr beat us. Like, no, the Patriots beat the Patriots that game. Like, we don't need to talk about the Raiders game again.
Please.
But the Patriots ended up beating the Patriots there. But yeah, just a great defensive game. Al.
Yes.
Do you have any main points that you wanted to throw in here before we talk about the offense, something like that, whatever you want to do? Where else would you like to go with this?
Well, I was actually just about to bring up the offense, and I was going to ask you guys, what was kind of your thoughts on just kind of seeing how the offense started out really well on that first drive touchdown when they went right down the field, it looked like, kind of stalled out, and then kind of picked it back up toward like the end of the game, I want to say. Were there any improvements that you saw? Was there anything that kind of like made you mad, made you upset, and be like the same old offense? Because for me, I just want the consistency. I'm not saying they got to score every drive. Like, that's impossible. We know that. But to show more progress than anything and get away from the 3 and outs. There's so many 3 and outs. I think they went a couple drives in a row where they went 3 and out. And it's like, why? Why is this still happening? Why is it still so predictable? Like, why is it that we can call the next play and none of the 3 of us, I know, Liam, you played football. Mike, I don't know if you played football.
Not really, no.
But why are we able to call plays from the couch? Like, we know a run's coming because that's what they do every second down after they throw first down, or they're going to call a screen here. Like, why does it become so predictable? That's where I'm at the point of
no. And
it's just, and here's the thing too, and this is the last thing I'll say, then I'll kind of open up the floor for you guys. Even Robert Kraft, there are rumors going around and reports going around that Robert Kraft is sick and tired of this. And he's going to demand for changes in the offseason on the offensive side of the ball. And to that, I say, good. Thank you for stepping in and doing that. I'm glad you realize it. Make your Hall of Fame head coach realize that too.
So I saw that report too. And while I 1,000% believe that to me is almost like the media just stating the obvious. Just to like stir shit. It's like, no shit, Robert Kraft isn't happy about the offense. No shit, he's going to talk to Belichick about making changes. It's like one of those things where it's like, of course it is. But now that it's out there, it turns, and then it starts to snowball into, Belichick is, Kraft and Belichick.
We've been saying it all year. Like, why does he get fed up with it by week 15? He should have been fed up with this by week 8. And I don't like that backhanded compliment and diss to Belichick. I'm sure Belichick fucking knows that his offense sucks. Like,
you can tell he does. You can kind of tell when they ask him.
Of course. You see him murmuring "fuck" under his breath on the sidelines every 3 and out. He's like,
yep. Yeah, what I will say, I think I'm fucking done with the screens. I don't need any more screens. I don't like, I still
like the screen game.
Every like once in a while. We don't need it every second down. Or like every time there's 3 receivers on one side, doesn't always have to be a screen. Like, it's not as productive as it's been. Or like, I don't need, built-in screens to running backs or things like that. It just doesn't seem to work. Like, why not? Because we've seen it now. When this team opens up the offense a little bit, just a little bit, they're pretty fucking good. I mean, you got Mac Jones dropping dimes to Jacoby Myers, like over 2 defenders. He's throwing them deep to Thornton now. I mean, it's like you're starting to see, and it might be a little bit too late, but you're starting to see like what we thought. Like I thought this progression in the offense was going to happen in week like 2 or 3, not in week 15 and 16. Like that's not where I thought it was going to be. I don't think that's where anybody thought it was going to be.
I would have even, just real quick, I would have even taken it in like week 6 or 7. Like that would have been fine too. Like get it in October so that way November and December you can play your best football.
Exactly. And it just, I don't like, I still feel the same way about Patricia. I still would, if I could pick, I would prefer he can still stay on the team and still, advise or do whatever he wants. I would like to have something else in there. But I don't know if he does stay around though. We've seen what works. Stick with what works. Like obviously when you solidify the offensive line and Mac Jones has time to throw, again, he's not perfect. I said that last podcast, but he knows what he's doing. He reads defense as well. That touchdown to Jacoby Myers was beautiful. When they both saw what was going on, he just snapped it real quick, threw it. Myers almost got killed, but he jumped like 10 feet in the air and came straight down. But it's like,
the play before then, I don't know if it was still Myers, but it looked like they were calling a run play and no one was covering Myers, and the Patriots ended up calling a timeout and then went back out there. And that's when they threw it to Myers. But stuff like that, where if
that was Thornton,
run,
I think Thornton was uncovered because I remember when
he's like waving his arms. He's like, dude,
exactly. And that's what, like, I distinctly remember that because I was standing up because I had to go to the bathroom and I was waiting for the play. Someone blew the whistle. I was like, all right, cool. Now as I'm walking away, I can hear from the bathroom my father-in-law being like, why did we call the timeout? And I'm like, wait, why? And then in my head, out loud too, I'm like, why did we call the timeout?
And honestly, it's just a blunder by the Dolphins. He was uncovered before the timeout, and then he was uncovered again after the timeout. That won't happen with any other. Most other teams.
There was I don't even know who it was from the Dolphins running off the field. They had too many men on the field. This is just the stupid shit with this offense. It's like.
And I hate to say it, Tom Brady would have just snapped the ball and thrown it out there. Like he would have audibled out of the run and just fucking thrown it.
It looked like Mac Jones was trying to snap it quick anyways, regardless if you got out of the run or not. He was still trying to snap it with someone else on the field. But but Belichick called the timeout, and it's like that's just like the weird, like junked up offense that this is. Where like no one's always on the same page. Yeah, it's very frustrating to watch. And like I think we have to we have to stop. I shouldn't say we. I have to stop thinking that this offense is going to like click because they're not going to click. They're just not going to click. This is the equivalent of like you're zipping a zipper and it just gets stuck and it just won't go up. You keep doing it because you think it's going to go up and it just won't go up. So like I think these are the types of wins that they're going to have. They're going to have the defensive games. Offense is going to have to not make the crucial mistakes, which they didn't. They really didn't, which was nice. It's just like this. These are the type of games that they're going to have to play. And I mean, we're talking like there's many, many games left in the year. There's albeit most likely one left, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with the offense at times. And I was unpleasantly upset at times. I don't know. Yeah. Like, I don't know where I stand on this offense. I think that's kind of a microcosm of the offense as a whole this season.
Yeah. I think there's either a mental or a talent standpoint, like cap on this offense in this game as well. Like they weren't getting the ball to Kendrick Bourne. Even I'm thinking like, come on, he had a big game, like get him involved.
Exactly.
And then he finally gets in the game and he false starts. And I'm like, dude, like, you're not helping your case here. We're trying to get you on the field and you do that shit. And then like he eventually had one catch for 16 yards, but like stuff like that, where it's like, it seems like there's a mental barrier on this team from stopping them, just like that goal line play that we just talked about, where it's like, they're just going to make really dumb mistakes. And that's uncharacteristic for a Patriots team, but the talent isn't great either. And Robert Kraft addressed it and we've all known it all season. The Patriots, the Dolphins were forcing them to play the Patriots game, which is throw short, ding and dunk the entire way down. They were forcing them to make big plays, and Tyquan Thornton had a couple, deep catches and whatnot. He was able to get some distance on just about all of his catches.
Yeah.
and that was how we ended up winning. But it was ugly. It wasn't like natural. Like he forced one to Tyquan Thornton down the sideline. Or no, it wasn't Tyquan Thornton. It was somebody. He had somebody down the sidelines. He overthrew him, and the guy was open. Single coverage down the sideline. Nelly,
like,
yeah.
I think it was Nelly. He had just about a step. Like who knows? Like if the DB would have got there, but it was like he could have laid it in there better. Yeah, and he missed him by like 3 or 4 yards.
And it didn't even touch Nelly's hands. Like I would have at least liked to see Nelly get the chance to drop it. Like
right. Just give me the chance. And that's
put it this way. Put it this way. How many of the wins this year? They're 8-8. How many of their 8 wins would you guys say were comfortable wins, where you kind of knew that they had the game the whole time? You kind of knew that, okay, this should be easy. Because I can only think of 3, really. I can think of the Lions game, I can think of the Browns, and I can think of the Cardinals. That's it. Like the Steelers game was back and forth for the most part. The 2 Jets games were back and forth for the most part. I mean, you had
I was confident in the first Jets game.
See, I wasn't, because they were down 10-3, and if it wasn't for a roughing the passer penalty, they could have been down 17-3 and lose that game.
Yeah, but then after that, though, because that was all before the half, and then after that, they had a 12-point lead basically all the way through the second half. And at that point, I was like, this Jets offense is anemic. Like 12 points felt like 40. And I explained to Mike when we were on the show that week, I was like, there was no way the Jets were scoring 2 touchdowns, and so that felt comfortable for me, even though like normally like a 12-point lead is not safe at all.
We can agree to disagree on that one. That's fair.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't extremely comfortable with the Cardinals game either. Like until like the scoop and score by McMillan. Yeah, I was like, oh Jesus, tied at halftime.
So we can trade off. So basically we're at 3. So that's the whole point, right? It's like this is how this Patriots team in 2022 won games. You know, they had to win them ugly. They had to rely on the defense. If you got 1 or 2 offensive drives that were good, like that was a win. And I'm gonna be careful with how I compare this, because I compared this on my podcast, Legends Lingo podcast. The 2022 Patriots, in a sense, remind me of a slightly less talented version of the 2000 Ravens, in the sense that they had a really good defense. Offense was kind of, they had a couple pieces in place, but like you think about it, right? And I'm not saying that Mac Jones is Trent Dilfer. I want that clear. Like we're not saying that Mac Jones is better than Trent Dilfer. We know that.
To me, like that's exactly what you're saying. But
I love Trent Dilfer.
See, this guy. This guy over here just loves to just stir the pot unnecessarily too. When I can
only speak on what I hear, and I'm hearing a lot of negative.
Mac Jones is better than Trent Dilfer. Are your headphones working?
God, it's like I had to it was like pulling teeth getting him to say that. God,
Sheesh.
Okay, proceed.
Sheesh.
God, I didn't know we had a sappy guy.
Wow.
I don't even want to bring up Zappy. I don't even want to bring up Zappy. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Zappy guy.
Yeah, God, go. Okay. Anyways, yes, he's not Trent Dilfer, obviously.
Yes, he's not Trent Dilfer. Yeah. Jamal Lewis and Ramondre Stevenson, decent running backs, everything. Couple weapons.
Jamal's one of the best running backs. Come on. Put some respect on the man's name.
Add it to the list.
Dude,
he ran for random one.
Yo, he ran for 2,000 yards. No. He's one of 8 running backs to run for 2,000 yards. Come on.
No, there needs to be the guidelines for Liam's list of players is a little bit more. It needs to be.
It has to be somebody that I would. No, it has to be somebody I would kill for.
Yeah,
like so I'm just admitting Jamal Lewis was a all-decade running back. He was fantastic.
No, he was. Jamal Lewis was good. But here's the main point, right? How did the Ravens win? They won with defense. That was the way they won a championship.
Ray Lewis, murderer out
there. That defense was one of the best of all time. Mm-hmm. Seriously, was one of the best of all time. That's why they won.
They were the best. I firmly agree.
This the 85 Bears would like a word with you. But anyways, there's another
bunch of senile coots couldn't hold a candle.
Legion of Boom. I still am
not impressed.
Legion of Boom, decent too. But here's the thing, right? They win ugly. That's the thing. They win ugly, and in the NFL, sometimes that's how you have to do it. But it's not a sustainable recipe to be able to win a championship all the time. That Ravens team got lucky because their defense was that dominant. And even the 2002 Buccaneers, they were kind of the same thing. Really good defense, and they had Brad Johnson as their quarterback. Beef. And then they had some talent. They had Mike Allstott, they had Keyshawn Johnson. Like they
Monster.
had pieces
Keenan
in place.
McCardell, Michael
Keenan
Pittman
McCardell.
Sr.
Forgot about them.
Yeah,
But yeah,
monsters.
so that's kind of my point. Is like they're just gonna win ugly. This Patriots team is gonna win ugly.
Yeah.
And we just have to accept that
I don't know.
until
You
next
just
year.
named two championship teams, though.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you know who else
they're
won
winning
ugly
ugly,
a lot
but
of
they're
games?
winning.
The Giants, the 07 and 2010 Giants won ugly too.
Very ugly.
But yeah, they were.
But those teams also had legit OCs like coaching them too. So
yeah, that's true. That is the one.
Both of those Super Bowls, though, with those great defenses, both those Super Bowls, that team dominated. The Buccaneers
Liam,
and the Ravens both smoked.
Liam, I just have one question, point blank, for you right now. Like, there's no sugarcoating, there's no BSing this. Do you want Matt Patricia back as the OC next year?
It's not the end of the world to me if he is, but
okay.
I mean, it's okay. not particularly, but like, if he is, I'm not gonna, put a
yes or no. Do you want him back? Yes or no? You got to pick one. You can't be
gun to my head. No,
okay.
I guess not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to see where you're at. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I get what Liam's saying, because part of my brain feels that same way, where it's like, if he does come back, like I have seen some good things from the offense, so it's like, I mean, but that's just me again putting my faith in Belichick that he'll be able to like kind of tie the bow on everything. But ideally, no, I don't want.
I think it's more of a personnel issue than anything else. Like, if in a hypothetical world, if we have Stephon Diggs or DeAndre Hopkins, we're probably fucking fine. And like Matt Patricia can draw up plays to get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins or Stephon Diggs.
I mean, you would like to think so, but I think fuck yeah, thank you. That reminded me of something you said, Liam. You said you were saying that it was a personnel issue kind of with them. I think the Patriots are talented enough on offense. Right now. I mean, obviously, Jonnu Smith is down. Jacoby Myers, a little bit hobbled, it looked like, for a second there, but he's still good. Kendrick Bourne is MIA, so it'd be cool if he could play here and there. Devontae Parker isn't playing, but it'd be cool if he was too.
Al, you're real quiet this week on Kendrick Bourne. I thought he was a difference maker. Doesn't he win us games?
He can be a difference maker and can win you games, but when you don't play him, and then the first thing, like you said, he comes in, he has a false start penalty. Like, you can't be doing that.
Speaking of false start penalties, that you also remind me. Trent Brown came in this weekend with his weekly penalty. I think he's the second most penalized offensive lineman in the league right now.
No, most penalized now.
I thought someone in Dallas was.
No, they said
he took him over. He took him over now. Of course.
Congrats to Trent Brown.
Do you
hard work and dedication? That's not easy.
Do you
have
remember,
to really try
Liam,
and suck?
When I think even last year and this year as well, we were singing Trent Brown's praises to anybody that would listen. It was like, guys, wait till Trent Brown comes back.
The first 4 games of last season, you would have thought like Trent Brown was
James White,
everything,
the Lord and Savior,
everything.
We were and to his credit, he did play very good last year.
Great,
but this year, I think it's just you got to either switch him to right tackle, what he's used to, or just let him go this offseason. Same thing with Isaiah Wynn. Either put him to left tackle where he's used to, or send him off. But I think, Al, you said there's guys out there that they can get. We'll talk about that when the season officially ends. We'll talk about what they could do. But yeah, Trent Brown, and then there's times where he's not getting flagged for anything, but times where he just looks lost. It's like, I'm done. I'm done with him too. I am more done with him than I am Matt Patricia. Like, I don't want to see him anymore. I get that he's big and he's intimidating, but he had his good couple of years, and I think he's shit. Send him out with Isaiah Wynn and just replace him. Draft someone. Belichick drafts offensive linemen like it's his job. I mean, come on. But yeah, Kendrick Bourne. I am squarely on the Kendrick Bourne train though. Like, after a 6-catch, 100-yard game, how does he only have 3 targets? I think 1 catch. I know that. I know he had 1 catch, and it's just like, what? God, like with an offense, especially towards the end of the year, it's like, listen, whatever punishment he was getting, whether you like it or not, whatever was going on, you are in the last couple games of the year. Why not just try to use all the tools in your toolbox? And it's things like this. It's the continuous, obvious shotgun runs or screens that everybody knows that's coming. It's things like these that make me want McDaniels. I mean, no, God, not McDaniels. Patricia out of there. And it's just like, why can't you get him involved more? Why can't you put him on the field instead of Nelson Aguilar? Nelly is 100% gone at the end of this year. 100%. This is his last year. Get him out. If you are gonna keep Kendrick Bourne happy for his final year, if you plan on keeping him, why not have him in these games? And I know that Kendrick Bourne is the eternal happy guy. I feel like there's nothing that's gonna, break his stride. He's always gonna be happy. But it's like, God, and I'm not one of the people where it's like the second he does something well, it's like you got to get Kendrick Bourne the ball more, but you can't get him the ball more than once. That's my thing. Just have him in the lineup. He doesn't
even play half the snaps per game. He's playing 40% of snaps, and that's not. It doesn't even feel like it's 40%. It feels like it's more 20%. And the thing is that Kendrick Bourne is a guy that, like you said, he's going to be around for one more year if they don't trade him and they don't release him. Aguilar is going to get paid somewhere else. And Liam, I know you love Aguilar, but we got to face the facts. The Patriots
I like him too. Him. I do like him.
You should.
But
best wide receiver I've ever seen.
So 2/3 of the podcast likes it. That's great. But here's the thing too. It's just like, why are you keeping a guy out that it just feels like you're still keeping him out because of beginning of the season issues. And Bill Belichick's doing no good in the press conferences when reporters are asking, why isn't Bourne used more? And he just says, oh, no particular reason. It's like, Bill, if you have his back, just all you have to say is, we just felt a little, we wanted different formations with different guys. Kendrick's still a big part of our offense. That's all you got to say.
Bill's never been a part of that, though. He doesn't go out on the limb for players like that.
I also think Belichick's done with the media this year. He's done ever since the Mac Zappy thing, like how the media kept asking about Zappy, then Mac, and now every week it's like, are you confident? And I think he's just fucking done with the media this year. So I think no matter what answer he gives, it's like he doesn't want to talk to them this year, I think, anymore. So it's almost like you can't take too much stock in things that he says, but I get what you're saying now, where it's like, you could explain it a little more, but I mean, at this point, I feel like Belichick's just at his wit's end. He's just like, listen, guys, this is what we're doing. We're going to do what's best for the team. We're going to do what's best for the team. Why are you asking me these questions? Ask me about the opposing team's fullback. I'll talk to you for hours. Don't talk to me about what I'm doing. Just we all know what's going on. I see. And that's part of the thing. I feel like he's like, listen, we all know that I kind of fucked up a little bit, that I kind of thought that we were going to be a little bit better than we are, that, and like he keeps saying, he's the head coach. He'll take the blame.
Yeah.
He does deserve some of the blame, because I think there's a lot of blame to go around. Definitely. Belichick obviously deserves some. I mean, we talked about it last week where, just him making the decision to bring in Patricia and Joe Judge and everything and what's gone on with them. And it's just like, I mean, that's why this year kind of sucks, because you see the issue, but there's really nothing you can do to fix it, because to fix it, you need to get you need to change the entire scheme. And it's like, listen, we're just going to try to win ugly, and maybe some lucky things fall our way. And, you get into the playoffs, you win a game or two. And I mean, who knows, but I don't know.
And that's why I said there's a mental cap as well as a talent cap on this team. I know you guys think the offense is pretty good, and I think so too. We do have two great tight ends. We have certainly serviceable wide receivers, one of the better slot receivers in the league, and two fantastic running backs. But that's clearly not enough. And
nope.
It doesn't matter. The guys just aren't getting open. And when they do, they make mistakes, they make drops, they make false starts. And that's as much of a mental mistake as it is a personnel mistake. But this offense just can't seem to do anything right. There's a severe lack in big plays. We can barely score in the red zone. Stuff like that is as much of a scheme issue as it is a talent issue. No, we don't have any dynamic players. There's no one on this team that one in particular guy really fucking scares you, and that's fine. Having a balanced offense works for some teams, but we're a run heavy team, and it's obviously just not working for us. I don't know exactly what the problem is, but I gotta think we just need better players. These guys would all be great if we could get somebody to really take the top off of defense. Then we could, defense would be more scared of Tyquan Thornton. If we actually used our tight ends, that would probably open up our wide receivers, but we don't. God. But we didn't use our tight ends last year, and Matt Patricia wasn't involved. So it's like I don't think that's a Matt Patricia issue either.
It's a combination of everything. It's a combination of not having the number one receiver. It's a combination of your offensive line has been kind of patched
they can't
up
block long enough for somebody to go deep
they
anyway.
Can't block. Yep, Trent Brown and Isaiah Wynn not doing their jobs. Andrews being hurt for certain parts.
Trent Brown doing the opposite of his job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
It's the tight ends not getting involved. It's the offensive play calling. It's everything. It's everything.
Yeah,
it is. It's Mac taking a step back, like in some areas, but also because of coaching. Like there's other reasons why he's gone down because of the coaching he's been given and the hand he's been given. So it's everything. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the frustrating part.
Is there anyone on this offense that is completely free of blame? Like, I don't blame Ramondre Stevenson for anything. I think he's been fantastic. Even though
you know what? Good. It's good you brought him up. Finish what you were going to say, because I want to talk about him.
Yeah, please. Because, like, obviously the fumble at the end of the Bengals game sucks. Horrible, untimely fumble. Last year, week one, Damian Harris fumbled and we lost the game against the Dolphins. Like, unfortunately, shit like that is going to happen. We didn't fault Damian Harris. The motherfucker had 17 touchdowns last year. We're like, all right, like that fumble sucked. It was untimely. He didn't fumble a whole lot the rest of the season. He was still fantastic. So I don't blame Ramondre. I don't exactly blame Mac Jones either. Hell, I don't blame Jacoby Myers. Friggin' David Andrews, I don't blame him when he plays. He's been fantastic, and he got unfairly decapitated in the Bears game, and that kind of threw him off his rhythm, but he's still been fine too. So I can pick out some names on this offense, and I'm like, they're free of blame. But then I look at, Tyquan Thornton, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith. Damian Harris has struggled this year, but obviously Ramondre is the man, so I understand that. Even Nelly, I'll throw a little blame his way. I don't have to do it, but I will. And yeah, Kendrick Bourne is obviously can get a lot of blame too, but I don't think like this offense is unsalvageable. Like we don't need a complete overhaul. There are some guys that like really played well this season and did the best with the hand they were dealt.
You just fine tune it.
You just need one. Like, okay, honestly, like because Devontae Parker is obviously going to be here. He's under contract. Kendrick Bourne I'm talking about the people that are under contract. So you have the two tight ends.
I still think Bourne's gone, but
then but you have Bourne, who technically is still under contract. You got Devontae Parker. You need to sign Jacoby Myers. If you have and then Tyquan Thornton. So, let's even say Bourne is gone. If you have Devontae Parker, Jacoby Myers, Tyquan Thornton, and then playmaker X, whoever you want to say, a realistic one, not because obviously you're not getting, fucking, I don't know, Justin DeMarco, whoever, but like if you have those three receivers with the two tight ends, maybe, or take a pick with the tight ends, maybe they cut one to make cap space or trade one or whatever. If you have either Hunter Henry or Jonnu Smith, and you have Jacoby Myers, Tyquan Thornton, Devontae Parker, and a playmaking receiver. And then you have Ramondre Stevenson back there as well. Probably Damian Harris, whoever.
Get a solid offensive lineman.
Yeah, exactly. I think this offense is right back in it. That's why when people talk about how, oh my God, the Patriots are in a rebuild, I don't think so at all. You need to either sign a lineman, draft a lineman. Do those two things. I'm cool with that. Whichever one of the big two you want to sign. And then if you want to draft one, I'm cool with that as well. And then just get whether it's a rookie standout who's kind of like a, no miss guy, or get a guy that's been in the league for a few years, 4 or 5 years, who the defense has to game plan against. And I think this offense is right back in it, because I think if you give Mac time and you give him people that can, dynamic player, just like any quarterback, the offense is fine. And then the defense is what they are. I have zero worries about that.
That's why I think it's so frustrating. And Al pointed out at the beginning of the show, to start off this game, I was like, the offense looks dynamic. This looks sick. First drive of the Vikings game, deep touchdown over the middle. I'm like, holy fuck, like the offense looks great. Plenty of times, the offense looks fantastic, and then it stalls. And then maybe it picks back up like it did in the Dolphins game, or sometimes it doesn't, and it just remains shitty all game. And you're like, why? You had it. It was there. Everything worked. Could the defensive adjustments be so good from almost every other team that our offense becomes inept for the whole middle of the game and sometimes the whole rest of the game? And that's what's the most frustrating about it. It's like you get a taste of it and it's just gone.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So it's frustrating for most Patriots fans because they're the team is so close, but the issues are like the issues need to be addressed, or else you're going to stay so close. So I don't, it's It's frustrating, but I have no issue with ugly wins. I know that some people are saying that this season hasn't been fun for them. Even though the team has been frustrating to watch, I still have fun watching them because I think that there's still, I don't know, there's still excitement that happens. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not fun watching the Patriots, learn new ways to lose games, but I saw people, I actually wanted to ask you guys about this. Some Patriots fans or some beat reporters being like, "Oh God, I hope the Patriots don't make the playoffs because I can't sit through another game of this offense trying to do that." To that, I'll just give my thoughts on that. Then I want to hear what you guys say. I don't give a shit how bad you think the team is or anything. You can't sit there and say, I hope this team doesn't make the playoffs, or like if they're winning or they make the playoffs and you're like, oh God, like you're in the dance. You're in the playoffs. That's a huge thing for the young players, for the veteran player, for McCourty and Slater. They might see that and then be like, oh shit, like maybe I will sign a 1-year deal, because we did, the year was tough. We all know it, but we got in there, we made the playoffs. For free agents coming in. Yeah, sure, they had a rough year, but they were a playoff team. They still made it in there. Maybe I'm the piece that needs to be here to, push this team to the next level. I hate that bullshit loser mentality that Patriots fans have had this season, especially recently when they're on the verge of making the playoffs. What do you guys think about that?
Oh.
Will I be happy if the Patriots make the playoffs? Of course. Being a diehard Patriots fan, you want to see them in the dance. Mm-hmm. Of course. But would I be necessarily upset if they didn't make the playoffs? No, because that to me would assure 100% that Robert Kraft is going to go down to Bill and say, listen, this offense sucked this year. Go out and get some actual play callers that'll actually improve this offense and give this offense the boost that it needs, because we kind of said it, right? The pieces are there. There are a lot of good pieces in that offense. You just need the right mind behind it. So because if they made the playoffs, Bill Belichick could, go to Robert Kraft and say, look at what we did. We went 9-8 with basically an anemic offense. If you give Matt one more year as OC, I'm sure it can be better. That's the only thing that worries me a little bit. But overall, to kind of tie it all together, kind of put a bow on it, want them to make the playoffs. Wouldn't be like overly crazy upset if they didn't make it.
So let me give you a taste of your own medicine here. Say you work in Vegas. You're one of those guys that crunches the numbers. You can decide the next game. Whether we go to the playoffs or not, it's all in your hands. You know and can dictate the outcome. Thinking long-term on, just like you said, what will this mean for the team in the offseason and for next season, as well as the team that we have right now, considering that we have 2 all-time Patriots greats who are on the cusp of retiring. What would you choose? Do they make the playoffs or do they not? Which one benefits the team long term?
I mean, which benefits the team long term?
Or which one do you want? I guess.
I mean, like I said,
I figure you will do what's best for the team, assuming you're selfless.
I try to be selfless as much as I can. I mean, if we're going to be selfless and it's for the long term of the team, you don't want them making the playoffs because you want someone in there to actually call a good offense. Don't touch the defense. Let the defense stay as is. Have Matt Judon be the defensive coordinator for all I care. I don't care how you do it. The defense is great. Keep the defense as it is. Keep the defense as it is, right? You need something different on offense. You don't. That's
go a lot
from
of
scoring.
stock in the last game, though. Like I can't.
You
don't
go
imagine
from
like
scoring.
This last game depends on if Matt Patricia keeps his job and doesn't. I think they've made up their mind by this point.
You would think, but I mean, crazier stuff's happened, man. Crazier stuff has happened. Right.
I think so. I get what you're saying, Al, but I think we kind of are like not giving Belichick credit. Like, do we really think that if the Patriots make the playoffs, and let's just assume it's not a great loss to the Bills or the Chiefs, because it's going to be one of those teams that we end up playing if we make the playoffs. Like, do you really think that Belichick's going to go to Kraft and say, yeah, we sucked for the whole year, but at least like, I can't see him saying that. And also, if we go back to last week when we were talking about, I think the plan all along wasn't even to have Patricia be the offensive coordinator moving into that. Like, I don't think that was the first call for
option
Belichick. So I don't even think, no matter what, unless unless I don't know, but something crazy happens and Patricia, I don't know, him, Kraft, and Belichick all sit down. They craft this perfect plan. I don't think Patricia's coming back as the offensive play caller at all. So while if there was a chance that he could come back, I get what you're saying now, because it's like you don't make the playoffs, change is going to be forced. But I think that change is going to be forced anyway. I think that no matter what,
that's
what
I'm saying. I just don't think there's that much stock in this last game.
Yeah, and then there's really not one playoff spot. Now, if they make the playoffs and they win 2 games and the offense looks good, that's different, because then I'll even be like, maybe we bring Patricia back. But I mean, let's be honest. Right. I don't think if the Patriots win, if they win playoff games, that's not how they're going to win. Like, let's just call it what it is.
They're going to win like 17-14 type games.
Yeah,
I was thinking 10-7.
It's going to be a rock fight. And I've also seen people saying, oh, well, do you really want them making the playoffs? Their draft pick. Right now, the Patriots, I'm looking at the whole draft order. The Patriots are picking 22nd. If they don't make the playoffs, they're going to pick what, 21st or 20th? Do you even I don't even think that Belichick should pick in the first round. I think he should trade that pick away, or trade up, or trade away for a receiver.
The draft argument, I never get why people want to argue about draft order. Just because of that point.
Unless you're tanking.
And I agree with that point. Right, exactly. Like, congratulations, you can go from 22nd to 18th or 17th. Like, cool, what do you do? You're not going to get like a game changer. But sorry,
it does not make sense to me. Like, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at teams, that could want to move up. I mean, you have Houston. Actually, Houston has 2 picks in the first round. So like, they're not going to want to come back in. But I mean, you got where the hell is Arizona? They're picking 4. Like, I just don't see how the Patriots would want, like, thinking like, oh, we can, instead of being 21st, we can have the 20th pick. Like that's bullshit. Like I said, I've never understood that, Al. I agree with you as well. I mean, to me, you either trade out for more picks, you trade up with that, or you trade for a receiver or some big thing. There's no reason to pick at number 21 or 20 or 22, 21, wherever they end up falling. So I don't think so. But did you guys any final thoughts, things you guys wanted to say about the Dolphins game?
Not particularly. I did want to speak on the playoff thing, though. I had a conversation
let's move into
with I have talk Patriots with a lot of my customers, just as like small banter. I like to talk shit. Plus, I know a lot of them are diehard Patriots fans, so I actually like to hear what they have to say. And like there's been a vast majority of guys that's like, this team sucks. I don't even want to watch them in the playoffs. And I was like, yeah, like I know what you mean. Like, it's been pretty brutal. But one guy had like a really nice outlook on it, and like I kind of adopted his philosophy, where he was just like, dude, that means I get to watch the Patriots for one more week. He goes, I don't care if they get blown out like they did last year against the Bills. I get to sit down with my friends and my family and a 6-pack and watch the Patriots in the playoffs. And it's a big occasion. And he goes, whether they win or lose, and he goes, and it's football. Any given Sunday, they could win. They could win. Exactly. He goes, will they? Probably not, but they can. And he goes, it's the promise. It's the idea. He goes, it's the reason I buy a Powerball ticket, because I'm buying the dream. I'm buying the idea that, hey, I stamped my chance to win millions. Am I? No, certainly not. There's a better chance of me getting killed by a vending machine. But I'm doing it because it's nice to dream. If the Patriots go to the playoffs, that just means, hey, we're in it. It could be fun to watch, and I get an extra week of watching the Patriots. He told me that. I was like, you, sir.
Yes.
It's easy to be a cynic, dare to be an optimist. I like that, sir. I was
That's
like, I like
saying. It. Just enjoy, because it's fun. Because I think, and it's kind of not stress-free, because it's very stressful, but you don't have the added stress of expectations, I think is what it is. It's not like this is Tom Brady, where it's like, we got to get there. It's like, no, it's like, you know what? Let's just fuck around and maybe bounce someone in the first round. Like, holy shit. Can you imagine if the Patriots
let's ruin the hopes and dreams of another franchise.
Imagine if the Patriots pulled out an upset win over the Bills. Chiefs or the Bills.
Dude, if they beat the Bills,
it would all be worth it. This season would be a win to me. This season would be a win to me. Now, again, don't get me wrong. You still want the changes.
Yeah.
But like
Elon would have to remove me in cuffs from Twitter for the horrible things I would say.
Everybody would block me.
I would lose friends, family.
Yeah.
I would say disgusting things to Bills fans.
Yeah, no, I would be a menace.
Yeah, you hear that, Al? Your co-host, he's not safe if the Patriots beat the Bills, and it's not going to happen. So that's fine. But
I will create.
Boy.
We'll be out of Tucking Takes. Will be from us.
Man.
Speaking of playoffs.
Listen, you guys. This is what I say to you guys, and I've said the same thing to my friends. I said, listen, if these bozos come after you and they do what they like to do, which is stir the pot, but you're my bozo, so I you know. But if you stir the pot and you do whatever, you're falling into the trap. So you know what? If you choose to get upset by it, they're doing exactly what they want to do.
Then we win. So we get the best satisfaction out of that.
Then
we want to make them cry.
I say they get the satisfaction of seeing you get all flustered. Do what I do. Just ignore them 70% of the time, and 30% of the time, come up with something clever.
Definitely,
It's simple. It's very simple. I mean, but I will say though, if the Patriots do bounce the Bills in the playoff, God, imagine if they win back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
Last week of the year, and
we
then
would be insufferable. We would be insufferable.
Speaking of that, by the way, Bills game coming up. As of right now, it is still Sunday at 1. Who knows if that's going to change or get pushed or anything with, the Bengals and Bills game. Maybe I don't know, maybe both teams end up playing on next Thursday. It's a short week for both of them. I don't know what they're going to do, but as of right now, the Patriots are playing the Bills this weekend. Guys, what do you give their chances to win?
Al, take the reins on this one. You're logical, and I'm going to get illogical.
Oh, wow. Someone called me logical. Thank you.
I'm going to get logically illogical when it comes to me. There's going to be reasons.
So you got to look at it one of two ways. If the Bills are really comfortable with what they're doing, they're like, you know what? We're going to take our chances. We'll probably get the Patriots, or maybe we'll get the Chargers or something in the first round. If they sit all the starters in case Keenum's playing, I love the Patriots' chances of winning on Sunday. But if they have something to play for, and it's like, you know what? We want that 1 seed. We want the bye. We want to get, our basically our slim pickings of what's going to be left. And you get the lowest seed of whoever wins. Then they play the starters. Then I don't love the chances. I don't, because Buffalo has proven right now that, and I'm saying right now,
that they can lose in the first round.
They're the better team. They're the better team right now. They're the better team.
I'll give it to them. I will concede that.
I'll never say that.
They are on paper and have proven on the field that they are more talented. I know you had the 14-10 win. Patriots had that 14-10 win. It was a good win, but guess what? The other times, even in 2020, the Bills have had your number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have. Liam, what do you think? Give it to us.
So I was thinking somewhere along the same lines. If they bench the starters, I'm very confident. If they have the regular starters, I'm still fairly confident. I think
fuck yeah.
It comes down to one of those things where it's like the Patriots against the Giants in week 17 of 2007. They played them in the last week of the season. The Patriots didn't care about putting stuff on tape, so they unleashed the whole playbook, had the Randy Moss touchdown, did all their normal stuff, and it was a great game, and the Giants held on, and then they saw them in the Super Bowl. The Giants knew exactly the plays that they were running. The Patriots didn't try and hide anything, so the Giants had a better chance. It depends on how arrogant the Bills are, because even if they rest or play their starters, if they rest their starters, they'll probably use a dumbed down playbook. If they play their starters and they use their normal plays and whatnot, then they're very confident, very arrogant. I can't imagine another head coach who is probably in the position he is now, having looked up to Bill Belichick through his whole, growing up and maturing into being a head coach. For him to say that we can put all our stuff on tape and the Patriots still won't beat us the next week, that's extremely arrogant and extremely bold. And that is not a favorable position to be in, whether the Patriots are the Foxborough junior high team and the Bills are an all-decade team. I still don't like those odds. So it just depends to me how arrogant the Bills get. If they put a lot on tape and the Patriots win, that's a terrible spot for the Bills to be in. I like the Patriots even more. So this is truly, there's so many variables. I don't know how I feel about the Patriots, but I think just out of sheer desperation, it's not about the dog in the fight. It's about the fight and the dog. Go with the Patriots, baby. Fuck the Bills.
Yeah,
There's a reason.
baby. Let's go.
Reason they all went extinct in the late 1800s. They got smoked.
There we
Buffalo.
go. Yes, sir. I love it. So I think we're all in agreement. If the Bills rest even some of their starters or whatever, the Patriots are most likely going to win. You know, if
Case Keenum, come on,
you would think, yeah. I mean, even or Dig, like whoever. You got to think that they're going to win that one. But kind of looking at it, it's going to depend on how healthy the Patriots are. I mean, it's really Jack Jones, Marcus Jones. Give me one of them, please.
Apparently that doesn't fucking matter though. Like we held Devontae Adams in check without him. Yep. But like we held Devontae Adams in check without those guys. Like you don't even really need them. Like Bill Belichick will roll anyone out there, and they seem to be doing okay.
Some good news: Jalen Mills is back at practice.
That's why I just looked it up. So I mean, if you have Jalen Mills, hopefully Marcus Jones comes back from his concussion. You never really know how that's going to go. You got Jonathan Jones back there. That's a solid group to have back there. Then, obviously Marcus Jones on offense too. He can provide some things. I mean, how much stock do you put in the Patriots defense to keep this game close? I think that's really what it comes down to.
But a lot of it, because the Bills put a lot on tape in the first game too.
Yeah, and I mean, I think what it ultimately comes down to, as it mostly does with my thoughts and how I pick when it comes to Patriots games, Bill Belichick is the coach of this team. I have to think this is a must-win game. You have the veterans in the locker room that know. You got Judon, Slater, McCourty, I mean, Adrian Phillips, the list goes on. They know this is a must-win game. They knew last week was a must-win game. And I know the offense looked a little shitty from time to time, but still, defense made plays. Offense didn't screw it up. They still pulled it out. Maybe this is half with my head, half with my heart. I'm gonna pick the Patriots to win because I want to continue to watch them play. And I mean, the defense is playing very, very good right now. If they can get some sort of pressure on Josh Allen, you don't even have to sack him. Just get him, running around doing whatever.
Do what you didn't in the first game. Finish plays.
Yeah. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah. Just tackle him. Just don't beat yourselves. That's what it comes down to. Because we're asking for one game. It doesn't need to be a outstanding demolishment by the Patriots or the Bills. Just pull out a win. However you need to do that. Just get off the field. Get in the red zone. Score touchdowns. Don't just kick field goals. The fact that this is in Buffalo, a little alarming, given everything going on in Buffalo. So, the crowd is going to be crazy there. They're going to be, pulling for the team to win, pulling for the Bills to win. Obviously they would anyways, but there's just a little added juice now. And I'm not saying they're using Hamlin's injury.
I can see it now. Hashtag do it for DeMar.
Yeah, it's going to be that type of stuff. And I mean,
DeMar's going to be real sad when the Bills lose.
Not even to say that in a bad way that, because they're not using his injury as motivation, but it's one of those things, someone gets hurt. It's like, we're going to go win this game for you. But there's something about being on the road that kind of brings together a team. And I think this team does that very well. They do kind of come together. Now, if those come together result in wins or losses, who knows? But I'm going with the Patriots. I think that it's going to be very, very close. It's not going to be a fun game at all. It's going to be very close all the way down to the end. But I don't know. I just think the Patriots win by 4 points. I think it's going to be something very, very close like that. Maybe Josh Allen has a turnover to, before the half towards the end of the game. I don't know. The Patriots have more picks than anybody this year. So, they got more defensive touchdowns than anybody this year. Like,
yep.
What happens if Josh Allen throws a pick six and, the Patriots are now up 13-3 or 13-0, God forbid. So I don't know. There's so many possibilities that can happen. I could see the Patriots losing as well, but I'm picking them to win. I don't know what the score is going to be. Actually, I know what the score is going to be. It's going to be 19-17. That's going to be the score.
Ooh,
it's going to be a weird score.
A dusty score.
Weird score, because I do think some Patriots drives are going to stall. I think that
four of them.
Yes. And no, I'm also thinking missed extra points too. That's going to factor in.
Asshole,
and I think that's going to factor in as well for the Bills, and they might try to go for 2 here. I don't know, but I'm picking the Patriots. I want to see.
Quick aside, do you guys like Nick Folk?
Yeah, because I think every kicker for some reason has been sucking the last couple weeks. Do you guys notice that?
Yeah, I haven't.
I don't know. I'm still rocking with Folk. I
think he's old. I want him out of here. He's
old. Thanks for the couple good years, but might be time to move on.
Yeah, he just annoys me to look at.
For sure. You got to start looking elsewhere. Where I think they need to look elsewhere, and it sucks that, he's not playing. Sucks that Jake Bailey isn't here, because Mike Pilardi is trash.
Yeah, he's not good.
I don't even know if his first name is Mike.
His first game was good. His first game was good.
What happened to Jake Bailey?
What was his leg? I think something.
Yeah, something like that.
Something.
I don't even remember the injury.
Yeah, it's my God, these 35-yard punts. Can you shove them up your ass? I don't.
Yeah.
Goodness.
He lets Skylar Thompson get good field position and score on the last drive.
Skylar Thompson. That doesn't even sound like a real name. That sounds like the bad guy in like a
sounds like a WNBA player.
Skylar. It does. Yeah, it does. You're right. Look at that. But yeah, so I think we're all still pulling for the Patriots to win, even though Al doesn't want them to make the playoffs. Doesn't like Mac Jones. That whole thing.
That old chestnut.
That whole chestnut. But yeah, I think I am thinking about this game gets me stressed. My hands are getting sweaty. So do you guys have any final parting words for the first episode, by the way, of 2023, and hopefully not the last episode of the 2022 Patriots season? Do you parting words?
Happy New Year. Hope Damar Hamlin's okay. And as of this recording, the Patriots are still undefeated in 2023.
That is true. And I just got to say, this entire year, I'm expecting us to dominate the Bills this season, next season. Fuck the Bills. Fuck everything about their franchise. We're going to beat them. Hopefully we beat them in the playoffs. If we match up with them, bad day to be a Buffalo Bill. Fuck them.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Obviously, just Matt Patricia, just don't get in your own way. That is my parting word. Just do what works.
What you should do is go to Mac and go, your offense. Call all the plays. Just sling it. Just go out there.
Who do you want out there? Kendrick Bourne? Yeah. I'll give you Kendrick Bourne. You know what?
Pick your own personnel.
Parker, suit up, concussion or not. Yeah. Just get out there.
Like, there any free agents you like? We can pick somebody up late in the season. Just anything. He's like, yep, it's all yours. You are the coach. You are the offensive play caller. Go nuts.
Can Matt Patricia line up as fullback? Do we know? Because him, Ramondre Stevenson running behind him. Can you imagine Patricia poking people with a pencil on the way to the end zone?
I'd just be afraid if he puts his chin strap on, it will push his beard up into his face.
And he won't be able to see. Yeah.
Right. But then again, he's gigantic. Just roll him forward.
Exactly. Yeah. Just shove the ball in his pads and roll him around. But yeah, so for Big Al, Liam McDade, I'm Mike Sullivan. Go Pats. Happy 2023. And yeah, please thoughts and prayers for this offense. That's what I got to say.
Send the Bills fans to the zoo.
There it is. All right.
Go Pats.